Welcome back, and so second half of this week, Britt delivered our nose gear leg, which is fresh from having the modifications done to it that he'd been working on. So that's looking good, and we'll be sending that off to powder coat soon. So getting it organised so we can actually mount it up in the keel. And here's one of the molds that you saw last time, and that just had the bracing put on that. So that's the last of the lower wing strake molds. So that one just needs, actually doesn't need anything, it's all done. And this is the one that was getting prepared to have those braces put on there last time, so they've been glassed into place. So that mold's all complete now, even though we've already used it and laid up those parts. And here we have the roof off now and actually sitting upside down, and you see Zach's working on cutting out some openings there where we can put some reinforcement in there for where the parachute strap bolts go through the roof. And he's just using some of the air tools just to cut that out. So we'll be putting some reinforcement in there when we put the bushings in that hold those bolts that are going to hold those parachute straps, and you'll see that later on. And our engine is now back in the shop and still in lots of pieces because various things still need to be done to it. One is the high pressure fuel pump. We're getting a new one of those, which is a rotary pump. It'll be able to handle the extra power that we want out of the engine, but you'll see more of that in the coming weeks now that's in the shop. And here's some of the parts there from it, and there's our radiator, and you'll see there's a box there with intake and various different bits and pieces in there. So anyway, we're going to be working on that in the shop and bringing in the people that we need to get things done. And you'll see shortly here we've got the engine stand as well. And there's actually some of the parts there that I picked up from Kyle's shop the other day for the gear drive or the belt drive system. Here's Devon cleaning up the top of this engine stand, because after we modified the engine mount, we needed to add a little bit extra to make this stand a little bit taller. So you'll see here shortly, here's Jeff welding on 2 more pieces there that'll allow us to directly bolt our engine mount to this stand. And we're going to be adding stuff to the stand. We're going to obviously add a little switch panel there and some gauges and a battery and all that good stuff. And a fuel tank, or a couple of like portable fuel tanks, so we can actually have the engine bolted to that and be running it. But anyway, you're going to see a lot more of that over the coming weeks, so that's exciting to have that back in our shop now, and be able to move forward with it. And today I got to sanding on the flange, or the edges of the main windshield. So that one a little bit bigger than doing the side windows, but basically the trick is that you need to sand it all the way down so there's no shininess left in the area that you're sanding, because you want to get a nice rough surface there so it bonds up really nicely. So it takes a little while, and you can see there that's unfinished there still, so you can see some shininess coming through, and the bit up there, it's all good. So anyway, that pretty much took a couple of hours to do that today, to get it all finished. We don't really have any quick way of doing that right now, although we've thought of some ways in the future that we could speed that process up. But anyway, there it is, sitting in the office again, and with the protective sort of film on it and all sanded on the flanges, so ready to go in now. And this is the little rubber profile we're going to be using for the pressurization seal for the doors, and just got a sample piece and it fits nicely, and that's the one we're going to use. And moving along with parts now, so the guys have just been prepping a couple of different molds so we can lay up some more parts probably next week. So this is the rear seat mounts, and so that one's all being waxed up and prepped, and then this is the front seat mounts, again all waxed up and prepped. And you see it's got the tacky tape around the outside and masking tape around there, so because it can be bagged, and so we get a good finish. Although I'm not sure we need to bag that one, it doesn't have any core in it, but we'll see. We're waiting on the layup schedule from Mark. And this is the other half of that center console, or center stack, one that goes between the center console and the lower dash. And so this is the one we had to basically cut in half and then recreate the flange, or lay up that flange fresh. And so Zach's just preparing it there, and so there the 2 pieces are put back together, and there's the flange that he just waxed. And so the guys are coming in tomorrow, and they're going to basically just create the mating flange for that, so then that mold will be done and recovered from our little mistake. And this is the forward bulkhead, and as you can see here, we've drilled the holes in there for the openings for the pressure outflow valves for the pressurization system, and also obviously the little mounting holes around the outside edge as well. And so here are those A-frames that were laid up last time, and you can see they've been popped from the mold obviously and then trimmed off, and they basically sit here just like this, and one on either side, and they made up to the aft bulkhead there, and then on the side to the left of the camera there they made up to the firewall, and this is the opening there, so it's sort of like a pass-through baggage compartment, and there's enough room to put some couple of decent size duffel bags through there. Anyway, you'll see more of that later. And lastly, a little bit of retail therapy this week. So these are the grips that I ordered last week, and so these are Tosten, Tosten is the name of the company, and they're super nice. They have a kind of very silky kind of feel to them, and lots of different just momentary push buttons on there for all the different features like push to talk and autopilot disconnect and all that sort of stuff. So we'll have plenty of options there, and obviously we have 2 of them. Anyway, that's our update for this week, and thanks again for watching.